My friends, this is a great time to become a channel member. Every week now I'm posting uncensored videos exclusively for my channel members, along with custom emojis and live streams for members at the Arch-Villain level where you get to talk to me directly. Please consider supporting this channel by clicking the link in the video description and joining us in our fight to save pop culture. And also, check out our Patreon and Subscribe-Star pages for exclusive content you won't find anywhere else, including Harvey Cthulhu's insane podcasts, photos of my vast toy collection, and members at the Legionnaire level receive a signed photo, membership card, and certificate signed by me. You'll find the Patreon link in the video description as well. Thanks for watching, my friends, and now on to the video. My friends, I have received an update from my Hollywood spies about The Acolyte. According to sources talking to them, Disney is considering reversing their decision and un-canceling The Acolyte. And this may have been their plan all along. Now folks, this is an extremely disturbing rumor, and I will share exactly what I was told in a minute. But I ask you to be patient, young Jedi, for as I've mulled it over, I realize that if this is true, what this actually is a rat trap. A trap that Disney is about to walk right into, a trap that may finally leave no doubt as to their absolute commitment to the madness of the broke woke agenda, and their indifference to the old-fashioned notion of corporate profits for investors. I want to share this rumor with you all, analyze what it may mean if true, and discuss how it could play out if indeed this happens. Now, as you all know, Disney announced to the mainstream media that The Acolyte is officially canceled, and yea, verily, there was much rejoicing amongst everyone who didn't have their head firmly up their ass. Every major news outlet publicized this announcement, and yet, even so, it occurred to us here in Xanadu how easily Disney could reverse their decision. Our own Harvey Cthulhu made a comment in a video last week that while Disney had yanked all the Acolyte merchandise out of their online Disney store, it would be very simple for them to put it back and change course. In that video, here's what Harvey said.
It would, dude. But yeah, it's definitely not a done deal. They could just as easily put all the Acolyte merch back in the store and change course. Not a great idea, but it could happen. But there's no doubt about it now. The Acolyte is the least popular Star Wars show on Disney+. Hey, what can I say? An Eldritch God knows a thing or two because he's seen a thing or two. You yourself praised Disney's rare good business sense in cutting their losses on this thing, protecting their investors and channeling their money to more profitable endeavors, but maybe you gave them too much credit, dude. So you're saying they're actually thinking of un-canceling The Acolyte? How could that possibly be?
I'll get to exactly what my sources have said about this in a moment, Harvey, but first off, let's establish one thing right off the bat. It's not just me saying canceling The Acolyte makes good sense. Even mainstream financial publications like Forbes are saying it was not only understandable that The Acolyte was canceled, it was also the right decision. Why is this important? It's important because Forbes is not a fringe publication. It's a financial publication, a mainstream business magazine, and they're not swayed by silly-ass social media memes or bots on X. They analyze facts and reach conclusions. So listen carefully, this is an ultimate rebuttal of all the slanders being thrown at we Star Wars fans who hated this crap. We didn't tank The Acolyte, reality did. In an article titled "The Very Obvious Reason Disney Canceled The Acolyte and It Wasn't Toxic Dude Bros," Forbes writes, quote, "There has been much gnashing of teeth and rending of garments over the past week over the cancellation of The Acolyte by Disney. The Star Wars series will not live beyond its first season, and it's unclear whether any of the characters or storylines set up in Season 1 will be carried on anywhere else. I do think that the Stranger was a good character, and I'd be happy to see him again in some other capacity. Well, you're entitled to your opinion. Darth Plagueis was spotted toward the end of the season, and I'd certainly like to see more of him. Well, not by these people, but I digress. But the show itself was not a hit largely because it was poorly written, riddled with plot holes, had very uneven acting from its various leads, and looked cheap despite its enormous cost. And while some outlets want to paint the cancellation as a win for toxic dude bros in the fandom, as if no women could possibly have disliked The Acolyte, and others are saying that its failure will cause Disney to avoid trying new things, I think the real culprit is twofold. The show was far too expensive and did not draw big enough numbers to justify the cost. The show was far too expensive and did not receive enough critical acclaim and widespread fan support. The Acolyte cost far more and performed far worse than any other Disney Plus Star Wars series, and this is why it was canceled. If it had been hugely popular, with viewership numbers closer to The Mandalorian than to Andor, it almost certainly would have been renewed. But the critical reception was lukewarm and fan reception was largely very negative, and viewers didn't show up to watch it. I don't believe this was due to the show's diversity or new setting in the High Republic, but rather to the overall sense that this show was poorly executed, with a gimmicky twin storyline that never worked, some truly abysmal moments like the witch chants, and its biggest star killed off in the first 5 minutes, unquote.
Yes, that pretty much sums it up. From a business perspective, canceling this failed series is the right thing to do if good business and profit is your aim. But if you have another aim, a cultural aim, a propagandistic aim, that's another thing entirely. What were you told, Doomcock?
At this point, I must state that what I'm about to share with you is information provided to me by sources claiming knowledge of the situation, but since I cannot personally confirm any of it, I'm presenting it as unverified rumor, and I ask you to please take it with a grain of salt. Here is what I was told. Just an hour ago, as of the time of the making of this video, I received this message from my Hollywood spies, quote, Disney under pressure. There is immense pressure to uncancel The Acolyte, and now the media is joining the fight. It's unclear if Disney will walk back their decision, but there is a source that claims this was planned from the very beginning. We will keep our eyes on this, unquote.
Hey man, it makes sense, dude. Think about it. They pretend to cancel The Acolyte to get all sorts of publicity going and to troll their critics, and then they claim, hey, due to a passionate outpouring of sudden public support and a petition with hundreds of signatures on it, the people have spoken and we'll be doing season 2. Madness. Absolute madness, and yet all too plausible.
And yet, the other possibility, Harvey Cthulhu, is Disney actually did the math and decided let's get off this crazy train, but then BlackRock and Vanguard and the LGBTQIAMOUSE community got on their back and started sucking their life juices out once more, and voila, they're gonna cave to the pressure and bring it back, despite Forbes and other responsible financial publications pointing out how unprofitable and insane it is to do so. So I'm hoping there's nothing to this rumor. I hope it's nonsense, or that in the end, if they are considering doing this, they will think of their profits and the momentum they have gained, with non-woke movies like Inside Out 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine breaking records, kicking ass, and taking names, and instead of going backwards into the maelstrom of suck that is woke, they will set course for new profits and prosperity. But only time will tell if their desire to troll their critics will trump good business sense. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry. Ha 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 ha.